and I want to introduce you to a new friend of our front page family. He is the author of a book called Relevance Raises Response, How to Engage and Acquire with Mobile Marketing. He is the proprietor of My Mobile Marketing Agency and My Text Marketing Agency. What could be more appropriate for a New Media Monday? Author Bob Bentz is joining us. Good morning, Bob Bentz. Welcome to the front page.
Good morning, Dominique. Thanks for having me on.
Well, it's much appreciated. Even as we mourn the death of Prince, the purple one, who, as Dave Chappelle so poignantly put it, is like the black 9/11. It spread like wildfire on social media, and tributes were on phones, they were on social media, they were on Facebook, everyone with their personal statement, their pictures, the articles, and it continues. It just shows you the power and the importance of today's world, socially, from a marketing perspective, personally, and probably financially, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I always tell the story that when Michael Jackson passed, the way that I found out about it was a radio station text message that texted me and told me that the King of Pop had died. So, yeah, it seems like that's how we get our news anymore. And it's the first thing that launches us to look into finding more information.
So your book is kind of giving us a science as businesses or individual entrepreneurs, how we need to pay attention and how we need to relate, I guess, if you will, to social media in order to be successful in this environment, right?
Yeah, social media, you know, it used to be social media was both a desktop and a mobile thing, but it really has evolved just like most marketing has to where it's become mostly a mobile thing. For instance, 86% of the accesses today to Facebook come from a mobile device. So everything seems to be moving to that thing that we have in our purse or in our pocket.
So that's why you call it introduction to mobile marketing, not introduction to social media. So I guess what you're telling us is that there is a different strategy if we're just talking about sitting down at our computer, looking at Facebook, as opposed to how we might relate to it on our phone.
Yeah, well, the difference, I think, is that your phone is always with you. So, you know, if I were out and about when, Michael Jackson passed, I would have known immediately because of that text message and wouldn't have to log into anything via my desktop or pick up traditional media to find that. So that's a pretty powerful force for any business or any organization, in that you can reach people when they're most likely to buy, when they're in your geographic area, and those are all things that mobile can do better than any other medium today or any other medium in the past.
And one of the chapters I think is so relevant, as you say, mobile optimized websites. So many things, you know, websites, even social media platforms. If it's not easy on my phone, I just don't do it. I mean, this one reason I love Instagram. It's obviously made for your phone. It's easy on your phone. You know, it even has a separate messaging system, so it's not always sending you an email. It's made for phone, and so now Instagram is probably more of a go-to for me than Facebook.
Yeah, agreed. Instagram from day one was created as a completely mobile device. It's very difficult to even load up a picture from your desktop computer. So clearly the founders of Instagram had that foresight to see where things are going, and they made it almost entirely a mobile medium.
So if I'm a business person creating a website or a Facebook page or trying to do mobile marketing, what should I keep in mind that's different that I need to, cater to the person on the go?
Yeah, well, I think first of all, there's no excuse to not have a mobile optimized site. With responsive design today, it's quite easy. You can use the same coding for both the desktop and the mobile phone, and it also will reach, iPhones, iPads, all the various size screens. So first and foremost, if you can only do one thing, it should be to make sure that your business website is optimized for mobile. And then the second thing that I like to mention is something that KJLH takes advantage of, and that is text message marketing. Of everything that you can do, text message marketing, I think, is the one thing that will have the greatest return on investment. It's very inexpensive, and sometimes people say, oh, I would never want, to text people because they only think of it in terms of spam. But the way that text works is you can't, by law, text anybody unless they've given you prior permission. So it's completely an opt-in medium, and that's why it works so darn well versus email.
So when people, sometimes occasionally you'll get a text from someone that you don't know or someone that you haven't given permission, or maybe, I don't know, maybe they found a sneaky way to get permission and you didn't realize you were giving them permission. But I got to say, I hate that. I do not like just all these random texts coming into my phone, especially stuff that, I don't know. I think there must be a secret to it because I don't really like getting ads on my text.
Right, and a lot of people don't, but you probably don't mind getting one from your favorite pizza place or something like that, something that you have a relationship with. So one thing that text has done a lot better than email marketing, for instance, so you say, you don't like getting these random texts, and nobody does, but think of it in comparison to how many emails you get that are unsolicited. Email marketing is opt-out marketing by law, and text is opt-in marketing by law. So really, you should only be getting any messages that you have signed up for. And if you ever do get a message that you don't want to get anymore, or you don't think you ever signed up for it, just reply with stop. And if it's a legitimate company on the other end, they will take you out of the database. That's also a law.
Well, and that's why it does say that on some of these text messages. So that's a good reminder. But you say, and I do think you're right. It depends what it is. I mean, I get alerts from certain publications that I like and news updates and things, and I love getting those because it's information. So the content of the text is important too, right?
Certainly. One thing is that you always say that there's a fine line between your best customer and your worst customer. Well, the worst customer is the one that was your best customer, and now they've opted out by replying with stop because you've sent them too many nuisance messages. So one thing you want to do with text is always make sure that you're sending something of value. You're not just checking off the box that you've sent a message today or this week. You're sending them something that they really will enjoy getting, and something that's pertinent to their interests.
Your book, Relevance Raises Response, and you actually have a website for the book, which where we can buy it, relevanceraisesresponse.com. What does that mean, Relevance Raises Response? It sounds like kind of in the area of what we're talking about in terms of content, right?
Yeah, it sure does. And, that's one thing that, when you think of, for instance, television advertising, television advertising is the kind of advertising that it's push messaging, and you may get a message that really is of no interest or pertinence to you. You may be getting a new auto ad, for instance, and you just bought a new car a month ago. Well, you're not really a good prospect at this moment for buying a new car. The beauty of mobile is that we know so much about you, and it's scary how much we know about you. Think about Facebook, for instance. Not only when you filled out your profile on Facebook did you give it a wealth of information. You gave them your sex, your age, your marital status, things like that. But Facebook is also tracking what you've posted, what you've liked on its page, and they're also tracking you even when you're not on Facebook, because most of us are logged into our Facebook account. So no matter where you're going around the web, they're finding out your interests, and that's where Relevance Raises Response comes in, because we know, for instance, if you're looking for a new car now, because you've probably visited sites to investigate new cars, and that's where the advertising can really hit home and really reach a customer that's relevant to your product.
So it's not just, how you say it, it's what you say. It's funny because I'm not a social media or mobile marketing expert, but I always say this. If you're boring in real life, you'll be boring on Facebook. It's not the platform, it's the content. Or as William Shakespeare would say, the play's the thing. I need to know what you're saying. It's not just where you're saying. And I think so many businesses rush to have a Facebook page or an app or this or that, and it's boring. If it's boring, I don't want it. I don't care what platform it's on.
Sure. You're never going to come back if it isn't giving you information that's relevant to your particular needs.
Yeah, and I may associate you with the deadly word known as pest. If you're
right.
a pest.
Yeah, you want to avoid that at all costs.
Yeah, going into the pest category is not good. The unsubscribe category. But apps can be very effective for businesses. KJLH has our own app now, and I love our app. One of the things I like about it is that it is useful, right? I mean, if you don't have an alarm clock, you can use our app and this is an alarm clock. But more than that, if I don't have a radio and I'm somewhere, I can always listen to KJLH, and it's free. All you have to do is go to the App Store and get the app. What other reasons that I'm not thinking of are apps great for businesses?
Well, apps are great for business, but most apps don't continue to update, and that therein lies the problem. A lot of people will download an app, and the vast majority of apps are never opened a second time. So you need to continue to give new information on the app to really reach out and touch people with push messages. Push messages are the ability to send a message directly to the person that has downloaded your app, so that they are notified, when your show is about to start, things like that. As long as you engage the consumer and keep them occupied with your product, they're going to keep coming back. And that, I think, is the difference between a successful app and an unsuccessful one.
And something I'll delete from my phone to make room for something else.
Exactly. Yeah, there's only so much territory on that phone. You want to make sure, you have the things that are most relevant to you.
One of your chapters is called Why Facebook is the Greatest Advertising Medium of All Time. Why do you say that? There's where Relevance Raises Response really comes in. We all wish we'd have bought Facebook stock 10 years ago, right? And it's because its advertising is so well targeted to you. You can't miss it. For instance, if you open up your Facebook app right now, probably in that second position in your news feed is going to be a sponsored ad. And my guess is if you look at that, you're going to look at that ad and say, that's pretty pertinent to me. They really nailed it when they sent me that ad, because it's not something that's, not pertinent to what you're all about. And the other thing is it takes up 100% of your phone. So you really can't miss it. And then finally, for small businesses, if you're in the Los Angeles area, for instance, you're a local restaurant, your trading area is probably about 3 to 5 miles from your restaurant. So buying traditional media in a big metropolitan area like LA just doesn't make sense, because you're going to be reaching people that really have no ability to come to your restaurant. And that's where Facebook does things so well, is they can just target those people within a 3-5 mile radius from your zip code. If you're a business that sells to upscale consumers, they can just target the wealthiest zip codes in your area, whatever it happens to be. That's why Facebook can just target you to the point where there's virtually no waste in its advertising. Can boldly go where no man has gone before, which is right into your purse and into your specific areas of interest. Well, it sounds like a book that folks should have. Everyone says they're doing social media marketing, but I can't tell you how many people I feel you're just not getting it. If you're sending me a bunch of crap on email or putting up Facebook posts that are really, boring, or sending me text messages that irritate me, you're not getting it. So maybe you need to go to relevanceraisesresponse.com and get some real science, behind this. Bob Bentz, it's so kind of you to join us for a New Media Monday. I wonder if you would leave us with, you say you have tips for mobile marketing. I wonder if you'd share a few of those with us.
Yeah, for sure. When it comes to text message marketing, here's one that I really like. and that is if you're a B2B marketing company, and mobile works for B2B, business to business, just as well as it works for business to consumer. One of the tips that I have is to always send your text messages, if you're a B2B company, at about 3 to 5 minutes before the start of the hour. Now, why would you do that? It's because that's the time that the busy executive has some downtime. They're waiting for their 3 o'clock meeting, for instance, and that's the time when they're going to be most able to engage with your message. So we found little tips like that have really helped elevate things like text messaging to the next level.
Wow, that's a great point and so true. I've got a 5 o'clock. I'm sitting in a lobby. I'm going to check my phone.
Yep, you're waiting for your next meeting.
Well, Bob Bentz, this is a whole world that some folks are just catching on to, getting beyond just having a Facebook page or having an app and getting into how to make it work for you. And we certainly appreciate your insight on that.
Thank you.
Bob Bentz, again, we can find you on social media, I'm sure. Tell us how to find you.
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at Bob Bentz. You can hit me up on LinkedIn, probably the best social media for business to business. I'm Bob Bentz. I'm in Philadelphia. And remember, we're the guys that gave you both Kobe and Billy Paul in Philly. So I know you guys appreciate that. Okay. Hit me up on LinkedIn. You can also follow my company, which is called Purple Gator, purplegator.com, or you'll find the Purple Gator business page on all the major social media.
Bob Bentz, thank you so very much. And, of course, we'll have it linked at DominiqueDiPrima.com and KJLHradio.com, so you can't miss it. Bob Bentz, we appreciate you.